Hi, everyone, and welcome to CyberSex with Simons. This is day 2 in our journey of going from 0 skills all the way to being job ready for our entry-level IT position. What I'm really focusing on with that is like completing out all of the material that's covered in Coursera and then all the stuff that's covered in the CompTIA A+. That's what I mean for our day-by-day journey. And we're just kind of covering like, if you have 0 computer experience at all, how do we go from that to easily understanding stuff until we're job ready? And that's the goal. That's the goal, because that's essentially speaking what I'm starting with. I knew how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, and Outlook. That's about it. I know how to restart a computer. I knew how to download games off of Steam, and not very skilled at actually taking care of a computer or understanding everything that goes into it. Anyways, that's enough rambling. Today we're going to go back over what we covered on day 1, just quickly retouch on the different ways we can manipulate folders or directories. Remember, that's the same thing. And then I promise we're going to get onto my Linux machine and actually do some stuff on there. So let's just get to it. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and talk all day. I'm going to switch over to my desktop. So yeah, as you can see right here, I'm just in the folder for where I store the videos as I'm recording them. So I'm actively recording this video right now with OBS. This is my OBS. Say hello. So OBS is just a application that allows me to capture my camera, my audio from my microphone. It captures everything from the peripherals. Peripheral is a term that's used to identify things that are attached to your computer that aren't necessarily like, installed on your computer itself. So everything outside of your computer is a peripheral, like your keyboard, your monitor, your microphone. All of that is a peripheral. So that's something we can add to our day 2 notes. We can throw in a term there. Peripheral. Let's make sure I'm spelling that right. I know I'm a college student, but like sometimes I just don't know how to spell. We're just gonna go to Google. Peripheral. E-R-A-L. Yeah. P-R-I-P-H. E-R-A-L. Yep. E-R-A-L. There we go. Struggle bus. Hey, you know what? The point of this channel is to show that I'm a regular human being. So it is what it is. I'm a regular human being. Everybody else here is too. Now we know how to spell peripheral. P-E-R-I-P-H-E-R-A-L. And that is any device that is attached to the computer. And we'll do some examples. Keyboard, monitors, cameras, microphones. Let's see. Mice. And yeah, we'll do etc. So that is peripherals. Anyways, I promised that we are going to go over stuff, so let's do that. We covered make directory, or mkdir. That's to create a new directory or folder. Remember, same thing, doesn't matter. And an example of that would be mkdir folder name or md folder name. And then if you have spaces in this name, you need to surround it with quotation. So as an example, if we wanted to do folder space name, we need to surround it in quotations like that. And so this will make a directory in our current working directory. So if we go and bring PowerShell back up, You see how we have our current working directory? That's where we are right now. So the computer is like, okay, I'm inside of the C drive in the Windows directory in the System32 directory. So if we were to find that in the graphic user interface, remember the graphic user interface, or GUI, is what we can actually click on and see. So what it's telling us is we're in the C drive right here. Click on that. And then we're in Windows. And then we're in System32. Let's find System32. System32. So it thinks we're right here. The only thing that has me kind of confused is the Windows right here is in all caps. And then we have our System32. And that's a good question for ChatGPT. Remember, I'm studying on my own. I'm just making videos on me studying with you guys. So that way we can learn things from zero experience to job ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a shot of my screen. Copy that. You guys can see that I've been working on tons of stuff. And then we're going to throw a paste in there. So in PowerShell, Windows is in all caps, but in the File Explorer GUI, only the first letter is capitalized. Am I in the right directory for the GUI? So yeah, long story short, we are in the right place. Perfect. All right, we're going to go ahead and get PowerShell in the front. So what we can do is we're going to, let's just find a place that we want to make a folder. So let's make a folder right here. So it's literally just going to be our C drive, and then we'll put a folder in here. So it's going to be MK. Actually, let's change directory first. So remember, CD changes directory, and then we'll do capital C : /, and there we go. And then from here, see how our current working directory changed? From here, we can do mkdir for make directory, and then we're going to quote project file, end quote. Hit enter. Boom. You guys see how we have a new one here? All right, perfect. So then we just covered change directory as well, CD. So change directory changes the current working directory. Then we have rmdir, which is remove directory. So let's pull this back up so you can see it on the side. We have rmdir, and then we can do project file, and that would work. And it is gone. So if we wanted to make a folder in the GUI, all we'd have to do is right click, new, folder, project, files. That works. And then if we wanted to delete that, we can click on it. There's a little delete button up here we can press. We can right click and delete from here, or we can click on it once and then press the delete button on our keyboard. So a few ways of going about that. And then dir, it'll list all the directories from the current working directory. So you see how in here we have all of these different folders or directories, same thing. We can go dir, and it'll list them all out. All right, what else do we have? So we could have done that in Command Prompt as well. So all of that would have worked in Command Prompt. We can do that. We can do the mkdir. Actually, let's change directories first. CD. And then we'll do capital C : /. And then we do mkdir. And project files. And then dir. Let's see. We see project files right there. And then rmdir project files. Enter. dir. Perfect. Okay. Let's do the fancy PowerShell commands. All right. So let's see. Do I have PowerShell still pulled up? Let's just go ahead and exit out of there. We'll do PowerShell. My bad. I am not the perfect teacher. I am not a YouTube personality. I'm not as amazing as like Network Chuck or Professor Messer. I'm just a real guy showing you. And yeah. All right. So we want to make new item, space, dash, item type, space, directory, space, dash, name, and then folder name. So let's change directories again. And then we'll do C. There we go. We're in the right directory. So let's do new item. And you can, as you're typing something out, you can press tab and then it'll move through like the different choices that you have. So I can do new item and then I'll do dash I. And just to show you an example, I'm going to press tab again and see how it just auto-populates something out. But there might be a few choices there. It doesn't look like there is for item type. And then D, that auto-populated. And then dash name. And then, let's see, project files, end quote. All right, and then dir. We have project files back in here. And we have our remove item. So remove dash item. See how there's a few choices there. And then we can do a path, but we don't have to because we're in the same directory. And let's do quote project files. Enter. Then dir. And project files is gone. Perfect. All right, so that's a recap of our last video. Let's go and see about how we move files. So in the graphic user interface, I don't know why I keep saying graphical, I'm sorry. And I did that a lot in the first video, but it was an hour long and I didn't feel like redoing it. So in the graphic user interface, if we wanted to move files, let's just say we're going to do a new and then folder. Let's call this projects. Perfect. Let's go in there. See how we change directories? You can see our directory at the top. Let's just say we have a new folder and we're going to do project file 1. We're going to do new folder project file 2 and new folder project file 3. And you see how Windows kind of goes ahead and just sorts everything by either alphabetical or numerical. So like if I were to have project file 3, if I put an A at the beginning of that, it's going to go to the top because A is closer to 0, I guess, if you would. Like it's alphabetical at that point. Or if I were to do something like this, and if I put a 0, 1 there, I think that should alter it, yeah. So it has its own way of going through and sorting stuff. So that's just something to be aware of as well. So a few things we can do from here. We can click on an item, then drag it, and then I can drop it inside of a different directory. And then if we go in there, so we're in project files 3, you can see that number 1's in there. And then what I can do is I can click on it, right click, and then let me find it. Well, we can hit cut. That's one thing we can do for sure. Cut. And then paste. And it'll bring it back out here. And then it has removed it from project file 3. Another thing I can do is I can copy a directory. And then I can paste it inside of another one. And we can delete. So we can move things around quite easily. And then say I want to take this and I want to move it. Let's see. I think there's a command to move something. Let's see. Yeah, as far as I know right now, cut is the easiest thing that'll get rid of it from where it's at right now, and then you can paste it in there. Unless I'm missing something, which we can do that. We can ask our friend ChatGPT, other than clicking on a directory in the File Explorer GUI and pressing cut, then pasting it in a new directory. Is there a way to move it without using the PowerShell or CMD? Let's see. Yeah, drag and drop is fine. Okay, so that worked out for me. We'll hold off on that real quick. So as you can see right here, what I can do is on the left side, I can open up whatever folders that I want. So let's just say we have a folder and we're going to call this one cool folder. All right, so we're going to go back into our projects. So say we want to move project file 1 into cool folder. We can expand this open. We can find cool folder. That's cool. As I click on that, I just ruin everything. But everything's over here on the side still. We can click on projects. I can find project file 1, click on it, drag and drop. And now it's in cool folder. And then if I wanted to do the opposite, grab this, and then I can drop it in projects using the GUI or the graphic user interface. But we're nerds and we want to do stuff in command line and PowerShell as well. So let's see how we can move and then how we can copy and paste something. So in PowerShell, how do we move an item from one directory to another? Oh. So we'll do move item, path, and then we have the source, and then destination, and then the destination. So that sounds pretty easy. Let's go up to PowerShell. We'll do a new file. We'll do 003 move item.md. Perfect. We're going to grab our note template. Go in here. We'll paste that out. Name is move item. And then that will be move dash item. And the purpose is to move a file or directory from one location to another. And then the syntax is move dash item and I'll do slash path and then source directory path, and then we'll do dash path, dash destination, and then destination directory path. So let's try this. Let's look and see what we have here. We want to move project file 1 into cool folder. And we have our PowerShell here. We'll go ahead and just type in clear. And that just erases everything out of there. And that's a note we can make too. Note template. Oh, sorry. Video 2 note. PowerShell. Clear. Erases the data and the current PowerShell window. Let's go back to our note. Move item. All right. So as you can see right now, we're in our C drive. And we have a directory inside of another directory that we want to move to a directory in the C drive. So let's try this. So we'll do move item path, and then we'll do C : projects quote project file 1 end quote destination, or is it dash destination? Yeah, it's dash destination. Perfect. Dash destination. C : quote cool folder. All right, I think we got that right. So let's think through it before we press enter. So our syntax that we're using is move item. We're specifying the path of the item that we want to move, which is the C drive, the projects directory, and then project file 1 directory. Then we've specified our destination is the C drive, and then cool folder. Let's see if that works. Hey, it popped up. Outstanding. I love it when things work. So let's move it back. Let's move it back. Okay, so let's do move dash item path C drive, and then we'll do quote cool space folder end quote destination C colon backslash projects backslash quote. Oh, nope, we don't have to do anything else there. Unless we wanted to move it into like project files 2 or 3. So I think we're okay here. Oh, no. We're not okay. So what I'm specifying right here is that I would move cool folder and everything inside of it in there. I didn't specify that we're moving project file 1. So what we'll do is we'll go back here, add our backslash, and then project file 1 end quote. Okay, I think we're doing good now. So our path is our C drive, cool folder, project file 1, and our destination is C drive and then projects. Let's see if it works. We'll move that over. And it did. Outstanding. So that is the move item. So let's just let's set up our examples like that, right? So we'll do move dash item dash path C colon backslash projects backslash quote project file 1 end quote. Then we'll specify the destination, which is C colon backslash quote cool folder. And we can do another one, which will be move item path. Actually, you know what? Let's make life easier. Unless you guys like the keyboard clicking ASMR. I don't know. It's up to you. Because we know for sure that these worked. So let's go ahead and write in here no output if command was successful. Okay, and then on to our parameters, we have move item, and this specifies that the user wants to move an item. We have the dash path, which specifies the source item, that source of the item that the user wants to move. And then we have dash destination that specifies the destination directory that the user wants to move the item to. So kind of standard note here would be if there are any spaces in either the directory or file name, then it needs to be surrounded in quotations. File space name. Perfect. All right, I think that does it for this note, but we successfully moved stuff around, right? Let's see. And then let's go over it in Command Prompt real quick. So I'm not avoiding going to Linux. All right, I just want to make that known. I'm not avoiding it. It's just like I have a laptop that's separate, and I just have to do a little bit of switching some stuff around to make that happen. So let me make sure it's actually booted on real quick. Perfect. So in CMD, how do we move an item? So it is move. So move. Perfect. Let's make a little note here, and then we'll do 005 move dot md. And then we'll go to our note template, copy that out, go to move, and paste that out. That didn't work. I don't know what happened there. Control all, and then, am I clicked in something weird? So Control C, Control V. Why are you not cooperating? I don't know what's happening there. Control C, Control V. There we go. Move, and then it's just move. Purpose to move a file or directory. Syntax is move. Pretty easy. Okay, let's give that a try. Let's get our command prompt pulled up. So that was our PowerShell. Let's do our command prompt. So we're in Cyber Admin. Let's see. So it doesn't look like there's any specific, like having to specify, typing out the word path or anything like that, or special anything. So we'll give it a try, right? So let's get this pulled up. Sorry, yeah, this is pulled up because I had to cut the video. I got a phone call, so don't mind me. But yes, let's go back to our cool folder. So let's say we want to move project file 1 into cool folder again. We'll try that. All right. So we want to move and then C:\/ quote project. No, we don't need to do that. Projects / project file 1, and then space C:\/ quote cool folder. All right, I think that's how it works. I think that's how it works. Let's see. Oh, it worked. Perfect. So as you can see, we're in cool folder, and then project file 1 moved. Nice. I like it. And the neat thing is we didn't have to change our directory with that at all, because we've already specified what we want to do. And then if we want to move it back, we can just say move C:\/ quote cool folder end quote / quote project file 1 end quote space C:\/ projects And that should be it. Perfect. And we see that in projects, project file 1 has returned to its home. Outstanding. So let's update our note here because we had a response from Command Prompt. So that was pretty neat. But we'll add a example. And we're going to do the copy and paste method now. I don't mind typing, so you guys let me know in the comments if you just want me to type it out, if you like that keyboard click ASMR. So we have an example, and then our output would be 1 dir moved. So I'm a nerd, and I'm kind of curious. What kind of error message do we get if I try to move project file 1 from cool folders even though it doesn't exist? So what if I repeated this command? What kind of error message do we get? Right? No, actually, that's not what I want. I want this one. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't read. So C, cool folder, project file 1, which is not in there. And then we're telling it to move it to projects. What happens? So it says that this is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or batch file. Interesting. So, yeah, just wanted to see what happens. Perfect. Okay, I think we covered a pretty good amount of commands. Let's go back to our VS Code. So we have move, dir, remove directory, change directory, make directory. Then we have new item, remove item, move item. And we need to make some Linux commands. So give me just a second. All I have to do is switch my keyboard over real quick, if it cooperates. And then I'll go ahead and change the input on OBS to my HDMI input. Let me log in real quick. All right, as promised, we're over here to Linux now. I'm sorry, I had to do a lot of troubleshooting to figure out how I could get the Linux to capture and then us also have access to our notes and ChatGPT at the same time. So doing some funny stuff. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's just explore Linux a little bit. Let me switch my keyboard over to the Linux machine. And yeah, I'm going to have to switch back and forth. I don't have well, I do have 2 keyboards, but yeah. Anyway, that's a talk for another day. So I just connected it to Ethernet, and we can take a look-see at some of the stuff going on here. So like in the upper right, we have some basic settings we can get into. Yeah, an update. The update information is outdated. This may be caused by networking problems. Let's see if we can install an update. Will that work? Okay, sweet. I like that. All right, well, let's look at the other stuff. So can we get into details there? Yeah, neat. I turned off Wi-Fi because the only thing I use Wi-Fi for is like my information of things, items, like my Roku sticks and my Ring cameras and things like that. Let's see, what else do we have here? You don't want to tell me? This looks like settings. So let's see. And we got Wi-Fi, we got network, Bluetooth. I don't know any of that. Those are our washing machines in my apartment complex. That's hilarious. I wonder if we could Bluetooth into my washing machines. Like those are like 50 yards away, or probably not that far, like 25 yards away. So that'd be hilarious if somehow we could Bluetooth into those. I'm not doing that on YouTube. Okay, multiple displays. I don't know what this looks like or what would happen there. Considering I'm running an HDMI to my computer and I'm capturing that via OBS, I don't know. I'm not that amazing at tech yet. We'll get there someday though. Sound systems, cool. Power. Yeah, I mean, you can adjust this so that way your battery lasts longer. Multitasking, I don't know what this is. So, hot corner. Touch the top left corner to open the activities overview. I don't know what the activities overview is. Appearance. Oh, I guess there's fancy themes you can go with. Hey, isn't that nice? Let's see. Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the GUI for Linux or even the bash prompting. So that's going to be definitely us grinding together to learn information about that. The different apps. I haven't installed too much at all on this. Like, I think I've installed HTOP. I think that was from me. And then BTOP, I think it was. Yeah, BTOP. But I'm not familiar with like actually accessing the GUI in this or not. So we're going to experiment together. So let's see. We were working on folders and things like that in our notes with make directory, change directory, remove directory, and then dir. So let's make our first note in Linux, which is make directory. I guess at some point in time I already did this. I don't recall when, but I guess I did. So the point of make directory is to create a new directory, and the bash is make directory and then folder name. So let's check it out. So to get to bash, what we're going to do is we're going to hold Control, hold Alt, and press T. And then that brings up our bash. So let's just give it a test run of, let's see. Actually, how do we make sure that we save it to the desktop? Oh. Before we actually make this, let's see if there's a file explorer. Let's exit out of this and see if there's a file explorer. So files. Okay. So home. All right. So is there anything in here? No. So it does have a directory list at the top, so I can see like when I'm in a certain directory. So it looks like I'm in the home directory now. Let's see. And I don't see anything like users. Trash? Yeah, we can just empty trash. I don't remember making those, but sure I did at some point in time when I was doing command line prompt. So, like I said, this is a fresh install. Let's just check out to see if the GUI works, graphic user interface works as well. Okay, so right click, new folder. New folder works. Sweet. Projects. Oh, that just pops down to the bottom left. I don't like how clunky that feels. That upsets my eyes. And then we can click, right click, cut, copy, rename. So move to trash. I don't see delete. So it just moves it to trash. So when I click on that, I'm assuming it goes into here. Okay. So hovering over it, I'm going to press delete. Okay, and it gives me a prompt to delete it permanently. Okay, so that works very similarly to the GUI in Windows, or the graphics user interface. So what about if I'm already inside of a directory? So I'm inside of the home directory, which is this, yeah? And then we have our desktop directory. Okay. So what if I were to, yeah, I can right click inside here, new folder, and then projects. Okay, sweet. And then it shows up on the desktop itself. Outstanding. And we'll delete that. And I'm assuming that went to trash too. Outstanding. Okay, let's go back to that file explorer. So that's interesting in that the desktop is technically underneath the home part. And I'm guessing that home is the drive and desktop is the directory. That's interesting. So yeah, I want to start prompting ChatGPT with questions, but we'll hold off for now. We'll ask it in a little bit. All right, let's back out of here. So let's get our bash prompting back up. And let's see, where are we at right now? We need to figure that out. So to figure out where we are right now, I'm going to do pwd. So we're in home and then under cybersex. So pwd is print working directory. And I think that's worth adding to our notes. So let's do that real quick. Switching keyboards real quick. So we're going to go in here and let's see, I'll move that a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. And we're going to go in new file. Then we'll do 002 pwd.md. And we'll grab our template. We'll do Control A for Control All. Control C for copy. And then we'll go to pwd. And we'll paste it. Perfect. Now, I kind of want to do something in OBS to where I can just easily switch back and forth, so that way we can just have our notes separate from this. So let me see if I can just do this. Oh, neat. I'll just move this barely out of the way because I want to ask ChatGPT some questions. I'm sure you guys are kind of curious too, right? Hopefully you are. If you're here, you're at least curious about learning some stuff. So let's see. Let's create a note for pwd. All right. So name is going to be print working directory. And then we'll do pwd. Purpose, display the full path of the current working directory. Useful for verifying your current location in the Linux file system. We're going to change the syntax from CMD to bash. And then it's just pwd. And then like output could be something like we saw, which was \home /cybersex. And then let's see what else it has to say. It doesn't have any parameters. Yeah, sure. All right, sweet. Oh, that's a little note there. So pwd just let us know where we were. let's get my OBS back over here. We'll get our ChatGPT down at the bottom. And I'm still trying to figure out what I like, what I think looks good for this. Like, yeah. There we go. We got this back. You know what? Actually, I'll just make this full screen so that way you guys can see. And then it's pretty simple for me to just click this and then you guys can see the whole screen that we're working on next. So we have figured out where we are right now, which is in the home directory under CyberSex. Let's see if that exists. Oh, helps to use the right mouse. So I have two mice on my desk. One is connected to the laptop and the other isn't. There we go. So home and then CyberSex. So let's check that out. Do I have a CyberSex folder? I don't see that. So that's a question for ChatGPT. Let's figure that out. Get rid of that. Get OBS out of the way. Perfect. Switching things over. Then we'll ask, so for the PWD, when I log into Linux, it says /home /cybersex. But when looking at the GUI, in the home folder, I don't see a folder for CyberSex. All right, so yeah, and this confuses almost everyone. The first time they notice it, the explanation is actually pretty neat. When you log in, PWD might show /home/CyberSex. So I was messing that up. But in the GUI, you see something like home, desktop, yeah, so on. And there's no visible CyberSex folder. So when you open files in the GUI, it doesn't actually show you the home directory by default. It automatically opens your home directory. So you're already inside CyberSex folder. Okay. So yeah, let me see if this is kind of in line what I'm thinking. So with Windows, we are typically working within the C drive, right? Is that kind of similar to the concept of CyberSex within this context, or is home closer to that idea? Oh. Okay. So it's the root. That's the word that's the actual word, root. Okay. Well, let's just do this then. Let's switch back over. Let's switch back over to our Linux machine. And we'll just do the science ourselves, right? So we covered make directory. So let's do mkdir, and then we'll do projects. Enter. I don't know where I can click and drag. So projects did show up there. Sweet. So it's under home. So like if we just get rid of the idea that CyberSex exists, like that's kind of like our user profile, but it shows us it shows us that we're within there. So we just made a folder there. And then if we were to say change directory, let's see. Let's try this without having to ask for any help. So if we do change directory, and then we do, let's see, how would I do this? Would it be home slash projects? Okay, that doesn't work. So what about change directory home CyberSex projects? Hey, look at that. So we just have to make sure that we specify CyberSex. So now we're inside the projects directory. So now that's where we are. So let's make another directory, mkdir. And then I wonder if we have to project file 1. Do we have to utilize the quotations to do that? All right. So then ls. That ain't it. ls. Hey, there we go. So, allegedly, this directory now exists inside of here. Allegedly. Let's see. Hey, we made it happen. So, you notice that I used the ls command. I think what I messed up here is adding this /, and that gave us all of the like root directories, if you would. Because ls, I didn't specify like any root for it. And I think that's what they're getting at, is that like, hey, this is like the root that I'm at right now, CyberSex at Simons. So let's see. Before we just start randomly guessing, actually, you know what, we'll guess. So let's do rmdir project file 1. Oh, 2 quotations there. I messed up. I don't know what to do. We exit. And then we Control T. Oh, we're still in that directory. Neat. So rmdir project file 1. Hey, cool. That worked splendidly. Okay, so let's go back over and let's update our notes, because we kind of figured that out, right? Let's go and make this invisible. We'll pull this to the side. I'll switch out my keyboard. And we'll update our notes. Cool. I like this a lot. So we have make directory. That worked just fine. Print working directory. That worked awesome. So let's go in here. We'll add a new one. We'll do 003-rmdir.md. Get this mouse out of the way. And then we'll get our note. And click in here, Control A, Control C, and paste this in here. Actually, we can just probably go and copy this. Yeah, because rmdir kind of works the same. We'll go and paste that into Linux. Of course, the difference is we are going to put bash folder name. Now, I don't know why I erased that. So that worked out pretty well. So yeah, we won't have this. This note won't be accurate. And this is something we'll ask ChatGPT about here in a second. Okay, so let's ask ChatGPT about that. So when doing rmdir for bash, how do we specify the path if the directory is not in our current working directory? Okay, sweet. So let's give this a try, right? So it'll be easier to set up in the GUI on the Linux machine. So let's go to that. Let me grab my OBS back and enable that. Switch the keyboard. So we have to specify the path if we want to, if we want to delete a directory when we're not in that directory currently. So we go to our home. Oh, wrong mouse. So if we go to our home, yeah, if we're in projects, then we have a new folder, project, file, 1, perfect. Sweet. And we're going to, let's see. Let's make another folder and we'll go examples. So let's see. Let's change directory. Make this bigger. That way people who are blind like me can read. So we'll change directory and we'll do / actually, I kind of forget, pwd. Okay, sweet. So we're in the / home / cybersex / projects directory right now. So let's change directory to / oh, that's backslash, / home / cyber. Does tab work? Yeah, it does. And then we'll do examples. Perfect. So now we're in examples. So to demonstrate, we are currently inside this folder, right? And what I want to do is go inside here and I want to delete this. That's what I want to do. So we're going to do rmdir. We're going to do / home / cybersex / projects and then / quote project file 1 end quote. I think that'll work. Let's see. So from inside examples, that's where we are right now. We are removing directory, then we're specifying where it's at, and then we quoted this out because there's spaces in the name. Let's see if it works. Yes, it works. Perfect. That makes me really happy. And you guys all saw that disappear over here, yeah? Perfect. So what if we wanted to make a directory there? So what if we did mkdir /home /cybersex don't have to specify projects, and then cyber seconds with Simons. Boom. That works great. So we are pretty easily able to make directories now. Let's go back to our notes and update our notes, make sure we didn't miss anything there, and make them look a lot better. So give me just a second. Go ahead and make that disappear. We'll move OBS out of the way. Switch the keyboards. Awesome. And then let's go to our note. So we have remove directory. I think we can do a better example. Like this is kind of bleh. And so is this. So let's see. RMDIR, we specified /home /cybersex /projects project file 1. I think that's a lot better of an example. So yeah, we're specifying that we want to remove a directory, and then we can specify in here like home /cybersex, and then we can put in here, if not working in the directory where we want to delete the file or directory, must specify the path. Yeah, and then we'll put in here quotation marks, file, project file 1. Must use quotations if there are spaces. At least I think that's true. We can test and find out. Let's do that. So we'll bring this back over, make that big, do the switch, and let's see. So we have, yeah, we're already inside of examples right now, and we just made that folder. So let's cheat a little bit. So we'll copy this, and then we'll paste it. Oh. Can I just copy, paste? Oh, it didn't let me. That's not nice. Let's just do this. RMDIR /home /cybersex, and then projects. And then let's try not adding spaces. Okay, so yeah, it holds true. We have to surround it in quotations because we just got an error. I don't know what deb name is. That sounds dangerous. So yeah, we're good there. Let's go back and update our notes and see if there's anything else we're missing. Let's just take a look. So we did make directory. I don't think we can shorthand make directory. Let's ask while we're here. For Linux, mkdir, can we shorten to MD? I keep pressing that. I don't know why. Okay, sweet. So we have to stick with the specific syntax there. All right, what else do we need to cover? So we have new item, remove item, move item. We've covered make directory, remove directory, print working directory. That all works pretty good. dir also worked in PowerShell, so that works out perfectly fine. So we'll get rid of this. We don't need this note. That note's not accurate. We could try. We could try to see what the error is like if we make the same directory twice. But the rest of that seems accurate. The rest of that seems pretty accurate and good. Next, we need to work on move. What is the command for move in Linux? I think it's MV. Yeah, MV. So MV source, then space, then destination. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot and do the thing. So we have cyber seconds with Simons right here. I don't think it matters so much that we're in examples right now. We can change directory. Let's it also helps when I grab the right mouse. I'll make sure that OBS is squared away and you guys are seeing what we should be. Nope, I'm messing that up. There we go. It's always good to double check. There we go. Perfect. Once again, I'm not perfect, so if you're still watching this, thank you for hanging out. So we're in currently examples, right? So we have projects, and inside of projects, we have cyber seconds with Simons or cyber sex with Simons. And our thing is MV. So we want to move cyber seconds with Simons from here into examples. So let's give it a try. We're going to do MV, and then we're going to do /home /cyber seconds with cyber sex, and /projects, and then quote cyber seconds with Simons, end quote, space /home /cyber sex, and then examples. Let's see. And ls. So we moved it successfully. ls is list. We'll make an entry on that. So let's just look to verify. Take a look at that. Super easy. And then let's see. If I want to move it with the GUI, I can right click. Oh, look at that. We have move to. Did that work? Home projects. That worked. That's awesome. Or did it? Did I send that to the right place? Yeah, I did. So then we can copy as well. Neat. I think another thing we can do is we can rename it with the move command. I think it was either move or copy. I can't remember. Let's try it. So what if we did mv cyber seconds. Oh, wait. We're not in the right directory. I don't think that's it. And we're going above our pay grade. So we covered move, print working directory. We just need to make our notes now. So let's get rid of that. Let's move the stuff. There we go. Bring this over. So mv Linux, new file, and then we have 004-mv.md. We'll grab our notes, Control-Alt, Control-C for copy, and then we'll go into our move, Control-V. And I think this is where we'll wrap up the video after we finish our note here. MV, purpose, to move a file or directory from a directory to another directory. And it's MV. It is bash. V as in Victor. And our example was MV, and then we did home, cyber, sex, projects, project, file 1, space, to home, cyber, sex, examples. I think that's pretty easy to understand. Output, there's no output if the command was successful. And then we have the parameter mv. ChatGPT was telling me like there's a big difference between parameter and argument and stuff like that. I haven't wrapped my brain around using that context in the correct context yet, so everything's a parameter for now. I'll try to better understand that in the future. So specifies that the user is wanting to move a file or directory. And then source. Specifies the source of the file or directory. Yeah, destination. Specifies the destination of the file or directory. And then the note here is that there must be a space between the source and destination. Let's see what else. If there are any spaces in any names of the directories or files, it needs to have quotations. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Another thing we could add in here is ls. And there's a bunch of different things you can add on to the ls command as well. I don't think we're going to cover those today. I think just understanding that ls exists right now and we can see what's inside of the directory from the bash prompt, I think that's good enough for now. So let's just make a quick little note on ls, and we'll do 005-ls.md. Then we should be able to just paste again. Yeah, there we go. And we'll just do list and ls, purpose to list or provide information for the current working directory. Command is ls, just ls. And then output will be something like quote, they use single quotes, cyber seconds with Simons. And we'll skip this part for now. I think we'll save that for our next video. I'm already at a pretty girthy amount of data for this video, and yeah, I've been talking quite a bit so far for you guys. Here, let me switch back over to the camera. There we go. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up today. I got a little bit of video editing to do for this one, but yeah, like I said, we're just going to do this day by day until we go from knowing nothing to being really good at IT. If anything, maybe watching one or two of these videos gives you kind of an idea of how to study. Maybe I'm not like so much teaching you the IT stuff, but like giving you a good example of how to study effectively. For me, I like making notes like this to where I can go back and reference them. Like, oh, I forget what ls does, or I forget like if I want to move something, like what order does it go in, or what do I separate things by, or how do I specify the directories? I like making notes like this. Once again, my note-taking app that I'm using is VS Code. It's completely free for your computer. I also have it on my tablet, but from the Play Store, I think it was like $12. So like, yeah, when I need to be mobile, I have like a keyboard in my tablet and I do it there. And then I study on my laptop, which is what we were working with today. So I hope you liked it. I'm sorry for kind of the struggle of going back and forth between like the different screens. I'll try to figure out how to optimize that in the future, but we'll see. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night tonight.